hmm Okay, so today Michaela's home, so I'm feeling a little nervous about shooting a video while she's listening. Don't want to sound ridiculous, but here's the cool part. We have something super positive to talk about. We have talked about what's the point to life if there is no point to life, right? You got to find a point. We've talked about how do you know you've gone far enough if you don't take yourself too far, right? We talked about how, you got to keep going in the journey, that it's about the process. But it wasn't until I started reading, well, actually rereading my Jordan Peterson book, 12 Rules of Life, that I started to remember why all of this matters, right? Like when my brother called me and was telling me about everything going on, the problem I had was explaining to him why it matters. Why should he be doing this? Why take the steps to do something difficult that may or may not work? And there was a quote in the book. He said, to have meaning in your life is better than to have what you want, because you may neither know what you want nor what you truly need. Meaning is something that comes upon you of its own accord. You can set up the preconditions, you can follow meaning when it manifests itself, but you cannot simply produce it as an act of will. Meaning signifies that you are in the right place at the right time, properly balanced between order and chaos, where everything lines up as best it can at the moment. And I think back on everything that's happened to me all these years, the process, the growth. I never really knew why I was doing the things I was doing. I never really knew if I was making the right decisions with quitting my job and reading all these books and joining masterminds and coaching and everything else. But I knew I needed to find something. And that something is meaning. But meaning manifests itself. You cannot create meaning for yourself. You can set goals. You can set these ideologies of what you can become, but the meaning comes at the time that the meaning comes. So what is the point to life if there is no point to life? You have to make a point, but at some point, creating that for your own life will almost within itself create its own meaning. And there is no other way. Like I've tried to figure out another way. And if you think you know another way, I'd be more than happy to listen. But from everything that I've seen, everything that I've read like 50 or 60 books, all the coaching, all the masterminds, everything, all of it comes down to from within yourself. What is the point of doing this? And as you go on the journey of creating that for your life, meaning it just appears. It's this beautiful thing that you're able to create. Well, not even create. It's like it just happens. And like that's the part that I think separates when I'm talking to someone and what it is that I feel and what it is that they feel. Because it's like, well, I know what happens when I play video games, or if I'm, hanging out or doing this or drinking. Like, sure, those moments are super awesome, but then there's this moment after where it all kind of falls down on itself. So you're looking for meaning, but you can't create the meaning. The meaning comes as you pursue what is meaningful. So it's a lot. Like it's a lot that goes on and goes into it, but that like has started me on this whole process of what I've wanted to do. So I've always had a goal to like create a city, recreate a city where the center of that city is focused on helping people wanting to become better, right? Like creating a center of excellence and a place where kids and adults and everyone can come together and get a better understanding of this idea. Because I think the idea has been lost over time as we've tried to find answers in like objects, in the things that we can touch. And maybe that's part of the reason that we have the issues that we have with drugs in society and marriage, divorce, race, and all those other things. Like it could be that we're almost pursuing what we can see instead of understanding that we have to pursue what is meaningful in order to find that meaning. So I'm going to start this idea of building this city from the first part. So I know that I can't build the city tomorrow, and I may not even build the city this decade, but I do want to start something that begins the center of excellence of some kind where we can learn and grow and be together. And I know that it's going to start with maybe one person or two people, but if I just continue to pursue what is meaningful, perhaps I can get to the point that I want to. Maybe I won't get to actualize it. Maybe it'll be someone else who carries the torch the rest of the way. I remember in one of the books I read, the guy said, would you be willing to watch the world become what you wanted it to be, but it be in someone else's image? Basically saying, like, sure, we read all these stories about people who, like, through their will created exactly what they wanted, but would you be willing to sacrifice people knowing it was you that created it, but you being able to actualize your goals? Can you take ego out of it? And I hope that I am able to do that. So I think I'm going to start this whole idea with a Facebook group, just something where everyone can talk about it, because maybe that first step can be the beginning of, something special that maybe someone else is able to take the rest of the way, or someone else builds that city. Because it doesn't matter if it's me. All that matters is that that meaning can happen, that I can help bring that idea into reality, whether that's the next person or my kids or somebody that I don't even know. So I hope that through all of this wild video of a lot, like I'm feeling a lot right now, like I get very energized and feel a lot of, I just can't even describe it. It's maybe this is what the meaning feels like, but it's just a reminder. The quote of this, the point of this is to have meaning in your life is better than to have what you want, because you may neither know what you want nor what you truly need. I know a lot of times I thought I knew what I needed or what I wanted out of life, and it turned out I was off, and that it was actually something else that was meant to be. Maybe that's some of the core Christianity. You know God knows what's best for you, so you just trust him and you continue to work towards it. Man, it's a lot. Well, I'm going to start this Facebook group. Comment, like, let me know your thoughts. I'm always here. You're learning to live unchained. I'm learning to live unchained. It is a beautiful process. Don't forget to drink your coffee. It's another episode.